Today, we open the doors to one of the most fascinating industries on the planet, an industry worth billions. Step inside the world of modern chocolate production, where traditional farming meets cutting-edge technology, and where raw cocoa beans are transformed into bars, chips, minis, and the countless chocolate creations loved across the globe. The journey of chocolate begins far from the factory floor, deep within the lush cocoa farms of West Africa and South America, where warm temperatures and heavy rainfall create the perfect climate for cocoa trees to thrive. Here, farmers carefully harvest ripe cocoa pods using traditional hand tools, a method preserved through generations to protect the delicate trees. Each brightly colored pod holds a treasure, dozens of cocoa beans surrounded by sweet white pulp. These beans are the raw building blocks of all chocolate. After harvesting, farmers scoop out the beans and place them under layers of banana leaves, allowing natural fermentation to enhance their aroma and flavor. Once fermented, the beans are spread across wide wooden trays and sun-dried until they reach the ideal moisture level. Only the highest quality beans, valued in the global market, are selected for export, beginning their journey toward becoming billion-dollar chocolate products. Once the dried cocoa beans arrive at the factory, their transformation begins with the most essential step: cleaning. Large sacks of beans are unloaded and poured onto wide conveyor belts that carry them into the initial processing zone. Here, powerful industrial cleaners begin removing dust, leaves, stones, and tiny debris collected during transport. As the beans move forward, automated sorting machines separate them by size and quality. Sensors scan for imperfections, while air jets gently push lower-grade beans aside. Workers stationed along the line supervise each stage, ensuring the flow remains smooth and precise. By the end of this phase, the cocoa beans are clean, sorted, and ready for the next crucial stage: roasting, where their true chocolate aroma will begin to emerge. Next comes roasting, the stage where cocoa finally begins to smell and taste like chocolate. The cleaned beans travel through stainless steel chutes into massive rotating roasters, each one capable of processing hundreds of kilograms at a time. Inside these giant drums, controlled heat transforms the beans, unlocking deep, rich aromas. Technicians carefully monitor temperature screens, timers, and airflow gauges because even a small change can alter the final flavor. Too little heat leaves the beans raw and acidic, while too much burns away the natural sweetness. As the roasters turn, the warm, earthy scent of chocolate fills the air, signaling that the beans have reached the perfect balance of flavor, color, and aroma. After roasting, the now fragile cocoa beans move into the cracking and winnowing stage, the point where the beans are opened and purified. As they travel along conveyor belts, industrial cracking machines use powerful steel rollers to break each bean into smaller fragments. This separates the outer shells from the inner core. Immediately afterward, the pieces enter high-speed winnowing systems. Controlled air blowers lift the lightweight shells away, while the heavier, flavorful cores fall into collection bins below. These cores are known as cocoa nibs, small, crunchy pieces packed with intense chocolate flavor. By the end of this stage, only pure nibs remain, perfectly prepared for the next major transformation: grinding them into smooth cocoa liquor. With the nibs fully separated, they now enter one of the most important phases of chocolate making: grinding. The nibs travel into massive stone grinders and high-pressure roller mills, where they are crushed again and again under intense force. As the solid pieces break down, natural cocoa butter is released, transforming the nibs into a thick, flowing paste known as cocoa liquor. Inside these machines, the mixture becomes smoother with every rotation, losing its gritty texture and gaining a glossy, uniform consistency. This rich cocoa liquor is the base of every chocolate product in the world, from bars and chips to filled chocolates and coating mixes. The next step will refine this paste into something even more delicate. With the cocoa liquor now smooth and liquid, it enters the next major stage of production: mixing and refining. This is where the flavor, sweetness, and texture of chocolate truly begin to take shape. Large batches of cocoa liquor are pumped into massive industrial mixers, where key ingredients are added with scientific precision. Depending on the recipe, sugar, cocoa butter, and, for milk chocolate, fine milk powder, are measured and blended in carefully controlled ratios. Inside these powerful mixers, heavy steel paddles turn continuously, folding and combining the ingredients until they form a thick, uniform chocolate mass. The mixture is warm, fragrant, and still slightly coarse, not yet ready for molding. To achieve the smooth, silky texture we associate with fine chocolate, the mixture is sent through a series of steel refiners. These refiners use multiple rollers to crush the chocolate particles into microscopic sizes, often less than 20 microns. As the chocolate passes through each roller, its texture becomes softer, creamier, and more refined. Technicians monitor particle size using digital sensors and sampling tools, ensuring the chocolate falls within strict quality standards. By the time the refining process is complete, the mixture has transformed into a velvety, perfectly blended chocolate base, smooth enough to melt instantly on the tongue. Once the chocolate has been refined to a silky texture, it enters one of the most transformative stages of the entire process, conching. This is where smoothness, aroma, and flavor come to life. Long stainless steel conching machines, enormous drum-like mixers, slowly churn the chocolate for hours at a time. Inside these drums, heat, friction, and aeration work together to break down the last traces of roughness. As the conches rotate, warm air flows through the chocolate, evaporating unwanted acidity and releasing deep, aromatic cocoa notes. Technicians monitor temperature and viscosity carefully, adjusting settings to ensure the chocolate reaches its ideal fluidity. The process is slow but essential. Rushing it would compromise both taste and texture. Over time, the mixture transforms, becoming incredibly smooth, glossy, and aromatic. The once coarse blend now flows like liquid velvet. This stage defines the final quality of the chocolate. Its melt-in-the-mouth feel, balanced flavor, and luxurious aroma. When conching is complete, the chocolate is finally ready for shaping into the countless products enjoyed around the world. Once the chocolate mixture reaches perfect smoothness from hours of conching, it moves into one of the most critical phases of production, tempering. This step is essential for giving chocolate its glossy shine, crisp snap, and long-lasting stability. Inside advanced tempering machines, the chocolate is carefully heated, cooled, and reheated in precise cycles. Even a slight temperature deviation can affect the final texture. After tempering, the chocolate separates into multiple production lines, each dedicated to creating a different product enjoyed across the world. On the main molding line, tempered chocolate flows into wide bar-shaped molds. Vibrating tables gently shake the molds, removing air bubbles and ensuring uniform thickness. From here, automated rails carry the molds into long cooling tunnels where the bars slowly solidify. For mini chocolates, high-speed dispensing heads release precise amounts into rows of small cavity molds. These quick molded pieces eventually become the bite-sized treats found in pouches and multi-piece packs. Nearby, robotic injectors add caramel, nut paste, fruit cream, or truffle centers into molds lined with a thin chocolate base. A top layer seals the filling before entering the cooling stage. Another line creates tiny chocolate chips using droplet nozzles that drop thousands of small dots onto chilled belts, quickly solidifying them for bakery and dessert use. Special molds form seasonal chocolates, hearts, eggs, stars, designed for festive collections. A conveyor belt carries biscuits, nuts, wafers, and dried fruit beneath a smooth curtain of flowing chocolate, coating each piece evenly. All these lines operate together, creating hundreds of chocolate varieties under one roof. From big bars to bite-sized delights, luxury-filled pieces to everyday snacks. From tiny cocoa beans growing deep within tropical forests to precise machinery inside modern factories, the journey of chocolate is a remarkable blend of nature, craftsmanship, and engineering. Every bar, every piece, and every chocolate creation carries a story. A story shaped by farmers, technicians, machines, and decades of perfected techniques. This transformation from raw cocoa to a global delight shows how an ancient ingredient powers a billion-dollar industry today. This is how cocoa becomes chocolate, and this is chocolate production at its finest.